Glen Urquhart lies in the Scottish Highlands on the shores of Loch Ness, some 14 miles from Inverness. This rural glen, which is a popular tourist destination, covers an area of around 230 square kilometres and includes the villages of Drumnadrochit and Balnain. The Glen Urquhart Rural Community Association, or GURCA as it is more popularly known, was first established in 1949. Today, we have over 350 members, and our trustees meet regularly to work on a number of projects. The Trust owns a variety of assets in the village of Drumnadrochit, including the Village Hall, the Green, and Blairbeg Park, home of Glen Urquhart Shinty Club, and also of our annual Highland Games. Down the years, GURCA's role has continued to develop. However, in recent times, the biggest change came about through the realisation that GURCA's original constitution no longer met our community's needs and ambitions.
About 7 years ago, our village hall was, and still is, in dire need of investment. Our village hall was built over 100 years ago and is well loved by the community. And we realised that our ability to attract funding was made difficult by the way that organisation was structured. At the same time, we looked at GURCA and realised that actually we should change GURCA, which was already a charity, into a two-tier scale and transfer ownership of the hall to GURCA. And that gave us the ability, with a membership-based organisation, to have a much stronger role in applying for funding for the community. And really that has catapulted us into the development trust we are today.
Tourism is central to the Glen's economy, and the closure of the Tourist Information Centre in Drumnadrochit's car park offered an opportunity for GURCA to step in and work with the community on an exciting and ambitious project.
The Loch Ness Hub project came about because the community wanted it. First and foremost, it was something that the community wanted. We had an empty building sitting in the middle of our village car park, and the community was very keen to see that used to deliver local visitor information. So that was really the genesis of the project to establish the Loch Ness Hub.
The community asset transfer process for the building was the first of its kind undertaken by Highland Council, and it was a learning experience for all parties, one where perseverance and collaboration was vital. A community share offer was launched in part to support the purchase of a local baggage transfer and travel company, a key pillar of the hub's business plan. With lockdown and COVID-19 restrictions ongoing, there were naturally reservations around asking the community to support a project of such magnitude at an uncertain time.
We launched on a Saturday at the hub, and we were just overwhelmed with the support. There must have been 100 people came on the first day to buy shares, and we had it. The share offer was open for a month, and every week we updated the community on what the total was, and we passed the target just in the last week. So it was really exciting, and it really, for us, showed that the community were as invested in the Loch Ness Hub as the group that had been pushing the project were.
I'm pleased to say that today we have reached our target of £110,000, which is a phenomenal achievement for this community, and I want to thank absolutely everybody who's invested. And today I can move Nessie all the way to the castle. Well done, everybody!
In terms of the community share offer, I think the community share offer probably exceeded all our expectations. Within a small community here like Glen Urquhart of only 2,500 people, trying to reach a maximum of £110,000 was a phenomenal achievement, and I think it's great credit to the community that they got behind the project and invested in the way that they did.
Loch Ness Hub provides a range of facilities, including visitor toilets, a motorhome waste disposal point, real-time public transport updates, and e-bike hire. It is a one-stop shop for visitor information, gifts, tickets for boat trips in Urquhart Castle, and tours to destinations further afield. Rent from the hub provides Gurkha with an important sustainable source of income. The business has created new job opportunities for local people and is now in its second year of operation. Funding from Highlanders on Islands Enterprise has provided solar panels and an efficient air source heat pump. There are many exciting projects in development at the hub that will help the community, local transport, and benefit our environment.
There are lots of stakeholders in the hub project from the outset. Glen Urquhart Rural Community Association, Gurkha, started the project, but we worked very closely with Sorvis, who are a local development charity, and we were very keen to work with them to develop community transport initiatives that would operate from the hub, in addition to the operation of the social enterprise that makes it sustainable. So the partnership work in the Sorvis was very important. And also working with members of the local community and getting their support.
I think community-led tourism projects like Loch Ness Hub have a unique story to tell their visitors that come to the area. Obviously, we put any surplus profits from our operations directly back into the local community. When we're given the opportunity to explain that to visitors, they are not only excited by it, but they are impressed, and dare I say, may dig a little bit deeper into their pocket, knowing where their pound is going to be spent.
The success of the Loch Ness Hub is an example of how the wider community can benefit when a range of local groups come together to work in a partnership.
Gurkha owns Glairbeg Park, which is the home of Glen Urquhart Shinty Club, and we've recently entered into a 100-year lease agreement with the Shinty Club for those premises. That allows the Shinty Club to develop the playing field and develop their infrastructure there in a way they couldn't if they didn't have a long-term lease. But most recently we had a Jubilee picnic organised by our Community Development Officer Dan, and the Shinty Club provided a free to the community barbecue as part of that, and it just shows the collaborative working between those organisations. We've been working on our community action plan recently, and that is a collaboration between the Community Council, Sorvis and Gurkha to develop that action plan going forward.
We face the same problems and challenges as other rural communities across Scotland. The action plan will inform us of our community's needs, providing the framework for groups to work together over the next couple of decades.
So I think things like more community ownership of assets is on the cards, better active travel projects, a more extensive path network through the village, better capturing of our heritage, a hall that has been completely refurbished and is much better utilised. Those are just some of the ideas in terms of going forward, but also actively encouraging organisations to work together and for people to get involved in those volunteering opportunities.
Perhaps Gurkha's biggest challenge lies ahead as we look to refurbish Drumnadrochit's Village Hall and redevelop its infrastructure to turn it into a thriving community facility.
So the hall was built in 1906 and it was funded by an American benefactor, Bradley Martin. It's now, though, being over 100 years old, definitely showing its sign of age. and we have a project to try and find funding for a major restructuring and refurbishment of the hall.
Our aim is to provide a building fit for purpose to support our community's health, happiness and well-being in the years ahead.
We want to change the layout to make it much more flexible. At the moment, you have to go through the main hall to get to any of our other meeting rooms, or you have to go outside. If you're in one of the other meeting rooms, you have to come through the main hall to get to the toilets. We have a tiny kitchen, which isn't suitable for catering for events. To make it more flexible so we can have 2 or 3 groups operating at the same time, we need to separate the main hall from the smaller halls as well and give them all access to the toilets individually. We were lucky enough through the Strengthening Communities Fund that Development Trust Association administer for the Scottish Government to apply for and receive a 3-year funding package for our first ever Community Development Officer role to help us develop the hall and develop the activities in the hall going forward. And that has been a game changer for Gurkha, our first full-time member of staff.
So it's a brand new role. I started back in January this year, and that role was funded through DTAS and the Strengthening Communities grant. I think the main thing is giving trustees, who are all volunteers, somebody that can pursue research, somebody that can do lots of admin, and put the time into various projects. As well, it's feet on the ground, so with regards to running a community lunch and a laddies night, trying to organise other activities that connect people. And actually it's a role that's developing both for me and for Gurkha. There's a lot of scope into what can be achieved and what might need to be achieved. So it's that flexibility and that space and time, giving trustees somebody to put into action some of the plans and ideas.
Oh, so he's been involved in lots. He has just submitted 2 big funding applications for the big refurbishment of the hall. He has coordinated some mental health and wellbeing lunches and evenings, men-only evenings. And Dan has been bringing himself up to speed with what's going on in the community and helping as a key focus of the community action plan that's ongoing at the moment. And that will form his role going forward, the implementation of the community action plan.
An organisation like Gurkha is dependent on volunteers. We are truly fortunate to have so many folk willing to get on board and give of their time to help out. It is all too easy to overlook the tremendous efforts put into organising and running events such as children's parties at Christmas and Halloween, the bonfire and fireworks display in November, and more recently, Light Up the Glen, an illuminated vehicle parade that takes place just before Christmas. Market on the Green is a fortnightly market that celebrates local arts and crafts. It's organised by a small team of volunteers and much loved by tourists and locals alike. Rental from stalls provides another valued and sustainable source of income for Gurkha. There are groups working together to keep the area tidy and a regular monthly litter pick, bringing folk together to achieve this. Volunteers are working hard to redecorate children's play parks and improve public spaces and floral displays. We are very grateful to all those who have been so generous with their time.
As somebody that's moved to the community, one of the things I notice is a lot of locals here will say, well, the Highlands are 20 years behind the rest of the country, and that's something that I absolutely disagree with. I actually think the community here is 20 years ahead, and that's in where we need to get to. That's in, that sense of friendliness, openness, helping each other, helping other people. Actually, that sense that you get very quickly living here of the fact that people actually care about other people, they care about the environment, and they want this place to be as good as it can be.
So far, we've told only part of the story of our community. There's a great deal more that we still hope to achieve together. With so many challenges ahead, we will continue to support individuals, groups and projects from across our community to make life in Glen Urquhart that little bit better.